Welcome, guys, to this new episode on State of Trove. That's what I named it. And today we are joined with Skyrider, as you can probably see right here on the screen. This is actually the picture that is here on is actually how she really looks in real life. So if you want to say hi, Sky.
Hello, everyone. Yeah. As he's already said, I am Sky. So, yeah.
Yeah. And like the most of the part of the like what we're gonna talk about is modding, because Sky has basically I'm gonna over exaggerate right now and say like he's done 50% of what is in the game. That's over, but he's done a lot of things, and as you probably also can see on screen, and you probably hear through the whole stream, is that she has her own channel that she does like a lot of modding and stuff like that, and it's really a nice and cool like creation or like streaming way, I would say, because it gives an insight to something that I have no idea how to do. I've tried a little bit, but failed miserably, and then I just like I'm out. I'm like I was a little kid when I quit that. I just took it and I just threw it away. I was like, okay, I'll let the professionals. Like I can't do what they do. Like so we're gonna get like an insight to like what is modding and like how to get started and stuff like that, you know, and how she got started and like what she's done and stuff like that, and like what is she going to do, or what ideas does she have. I've seen recently, I'm not going to spoil too much, but I saw a what's it called, a skit, what's it called, can you the Vanguardian thing,
Vanguardian costume.
Yeah, Vanguardian costume, but like what is it called, like a skit, it's not a skit, but what is it, like a draft?
Yeah, a sketch.
A sketch, yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's a sketch,
I've already completed the costume.
Okay. So we might actually...
But it's not available for download since nobody can use it.
No. But will it be for download when it comes out?
When it comes live, yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to start out with, first of all, I'm going to say that this is going to be also on YouTube, so check out the YouTube for if you haven't seen this one. You check the description, that's why I'm saying description. Will be a link to Trovosaurus, which is Sky handles that. Is that with your sister as well?
Yes.
Okay, right. Yeah, Sky has a sister as well, so her name is Sky the Virus. She's actually the person that designed my emotes in my channel, so shout out to her as well. Those are amazing still. I love them, and if I ever was to get more, I will definitely get her to make some more, because those are awesome. So Trovosaurus link will be there. You probably already know it, but it's going to be in the link, might as well. And also, of course, Sky's, what's it called? Twitch name, Twitch link, yeah, is also going to be there. So if you want to check it out, all those things, you can always check her out there. So I think we should start talking about like modding and stuff like that. So let's just get on with the like things you've done. Like what have you like done of things that has been like put in the game as.
As far as like what a lot of people do, like recognize immediately, are the dragons. I've put in at least three. I got at least 3 dragons in game. So you got Flackbeard the Relentless, Tannenbomber the Hairbringer of Tidings, and Endurion the Unwavering. So just to make things easier for you guys, that's the Pirate Dragon, Christmas Dragon, and the Void Watcher Dragon.
Yeah, those are the terms that I also use. The official names is not what like people ask me. Have you seen this dragon? It's like I I have to like Google it. What dragon is that? And like, oh, you mean the pirate dragon? Oh, okay, yeah, I know how to get it, stuff like that. So if you have seen some of those dragons, those are made by you.
Yeah, those 3 are made by me. I do have a couple of other things. I have at least a couple of costumes, 2 aura like visuals, so like a headpiece aura, the bubbling biofield, and the new wings that everyone should probably know what they are, the Wings of Love.
Yeah, those Wings of Love are
expensive.
Yeah, they're expensive, but they're also very, 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 very amazing, I gotta say. I was lucky enough to get a a code from Sky. She was very nice to give me one, because there's those 2 million is not right. It's not in my budget at the moment. So I was lucky enough.
That's something that nobody really wanted to get, because one, those pinatas were only pay to win really, because you only can get them in credits, and they're pretty expensive for credits because they're more expensive than the normal pinatas that you get in the store.
Do you know why they're more expensive? Is it just because they're new, or?
They probably want to. I honestly don't know why.
Okay.
To be honest, they might be because maybe they're special event-only items and they want to make it a little more expensive.
Okay. Well, I was thinking it's also, maybe because they're new or something like that. That could be a reason. Do they like tell you, because you make these wings and you basically upload them to where you get mods and stuff like that, and then they get it. Oh, you upload them, of course, to the forums. That's where you do it. But my point is, then they get accepted. Do they tell you where they're gonna like put them in, or would you just get a mail that said, yeah, you got accepted, or?
Well, here's how it goes. When they start accepting everything, they give me an email. When at the time they're accepting things, they'll give me the rewards. Well, some of the rewards for, like, for example, the credits. Then once they get released, they don't usually tell me that how to get it. I would usually have to figure it out myself, or by other means.
Okay, so
explain.
So you just get a like you got accepted thing, and then you receive things.
Well, they also had to like get my permission to put the item in game, because what if I don't want them to use my content? What if I want to keep it?
Oh.
But that's usually very rarely the case for some modders.
Yeah, of course. But have you heard about anybody that actually said no to it and like they wanted to keep it as their own?
Not that I know of. Although I do hear from other modders that there was at least one or two people that did decline something that they've made.
Okay. Cool. So if there's probably somebody out there, because it's gonna have it in the YouTube title, or it's also here in, I don't know if I put it in this title of the Twitch, but can you like tell a little about the rewards, because that might be an incentive for some people to like pick up modding and actually try to do stuff, because we always want to see like people with their creativity.
Well, the rewards do vary depending on what you make, but in general, they give you credits. So once you get it accepted, you get a certain amount of credits for depending on what item. I'm pretty sure allies are like 5,000. A couple of other things are 10,000. More of the complex-looking things are like the costumes that require like allies and other kind of accessories. For example, like Dino Tamer, you would have, for that class, you would need to have the costume itself, the nets, the gun style, the hat style, and all of the dinos. And that's a lot of work, to be honest, for a lot of credits. And for the most, which is the dragons and anything completely fancy, like a new model or something, it's like 25,000 to 30,000 credits per mod.
Yeah, we have to say, of course, when you say that, that's of course credits that you actually get in game. If anybody,
yeah, they automatically redeem these credits into your account if you get it accepted. It will accept that you agree to have the item in the game, and then they send you they like automatically redeem it into your account.
Yeah,
it's not like a code or anything.
No, it's just you. Because if it was probably a code, you were probably people might.
They would probably like suspect that I would try to sell it, but that's not the case.
Yeah, that's not the case. No. So you did. We just talked about what mods you've done and stuff like that. A little bit about the things, but what do you think about like what is your favorite you've done, like of things that has been implemented? And my follow up question is probably going to be like. What is your favorite thing you've done of all your things that some of it the people might not know about, but what's your favorite in-game that you've been added?
To be completely honest, it's mostly my dragons. I've worked really hard on all of them. I think the one that I definitely want to mention is the Void Watcher dragon.
That's also cool.
It took me quite a while to make, to be honest, because I had a lot of issues with making the wings, especially that right now it's, as far as some people can see, they're transparent, and having the attachment points, which we might get into in a bit. It was fixing those up, and that's just a whole different problem on itself.
Yeah. All right. So the void. Yeah, it is a very very cool dragon, and I hope to see it one day when I get enough shadow or void fragments, that is, from the shadow caches. So what is your favorite mod you've made, like, that hasn't gone into the, or it probably, if it's still the void dragon, that's cool, but like, is there any out there that people haven't seen that you really hope is someday going to be introduced?
Well, I don't really like to mention like one mod, but like a group of mods, I would definitely say like all those dolphins I've made.
Yeah, I've seen the dolphins as well, made on your stream. Yeah.
I've made at least, for anyone who don't know, I've made 25 different dolphins using
25.
the spirit fox mount, the frolicsome fox spirit.
Yeah, it came with the adventure update. It's like a floating fox that
And
that
that was like the perfect model or rig that I could use to simulate a dolphin's movement.
And talking about movement, I think this is a good segment to go, like, start getting into, like, what about modding and stuff like that. So, why specifically did you choose the fox? You said a little bit about it, but can you elaborate on, like, why you chose the fox?
Well, I usually do my research earlier before I actually make it, and most of the time I will view like how, if I want to make something completely different, I would have to observe the actual thing and how it moves and the skeletal structures, just so I know like at least to make it at least accurate. And for a dolphin, its tail moves up and down. I can't use a Lunar New Year dragon's rig because it's mostly from side to side and it's a little more like a fish. So
Yeah, shark or something
so
like
I
that.
chose like I said, so I chose the fox's rig so that it actually simulates that up and down movement. And as you like run around with it, it is almost as if it's swimming through the air.
Oh,
So that's why I chose to use a fox spirit rig for a dolphin.
okay.
And that goes for most of my other things. Like if I want to make a completely different mount, so I just had to observe and just keep those in mind.
Yeah. And then you said something about you brought up yourself also about, like, attachments for the dragon,
Oh
for
yes,
example.
every single item in the game, no matter if it's just a simple segment part or just a full item or decoration, there is a pink a very specific color voxel that we all of us refer to as an attachment point. It's what the main model is going to be positioned. Like it's like going into animation really, because you need to it's gonna that point is going to attach to the skeleton, and that's how it's going to start move and stuff like that.
Yeah. So basically, it's like if you take the dragon, it's where it's like the wings attached to its body, so it's like there with is where it does the up and down kind of thing.
Hmm.
Okay. Cool.
I mean,
Cool.
it's the devs are the ones who are responsible for how it moves and such. We're just modifying the model itself to how we like it.
Yeah. So we probably should have led with this, probably because people are watching this, but we probably should have said, what kind of programs do you use for modding, and, like, how does it work, and why is that maybe a better program than other you can find out there? Because you're not using a program that I found. I found it after I saw yours, and then yeah.
It's a basic voxel editing program, but there's plenty of others like Magic of Voxel, Troxel, Voxel Shop. but the one I use is Cubicle. Well, I have version 2.0, and I'm pretty sure there's a 3.0 that anyone can get on Steam or their official website. But I do prefer Cubicle over the others because I think for some people who have seen my streams, I'm allowed to put in different parts and construct the full model so that once I edit the whole thing, I can see what it looks like before I put it into the game and test it out.
Okay, so you can actually see it in game, basically, before.
The downside to it is I have to save each part individually instead because for maybe like voxel for Magica voxel, you're just editing one part and that's it. You don't have to do anything else with that part. But for Cubicle, you need to take the time to go down, export to QB, rename it, save, and you got to do that for every single part. And for something like a Dino Tamer's costume, that takes about like a few hours or so to do, since there's so many parts.
Yeah. So as a, like if I was a or somebody out there is new like to modding, so what would you recommend like of these programs that you like mentioned?
Well, to start, I would say just to start off, like before you actually go in depth to modding, start out with Magica Voxel. That's usually a very simple program that people can use, and it's free. The only reason I don't recommend Cubicle as soon as possible is because you do have to pay for it. I believe it's about $20-$30 for the basic version without the add-ons, because with the add-ons about $75 for the program.
Oh, that's kind of steep, for trying to or wanting to see if it did something for you, before you kind of dive all the way into it.
Yeah, because I hope hopefully you don't you get into it without well, you want to at least try it out before you actually go in depth, really. I've seen people who start off with Magica Voxel, and once they got used to it, then they decide whether or not they'll get Cubicle.
Okay, so when you really get into it, you will probably switch to Cubicle. Okay. So we talked a little bit about the things you have made and what you've made in the future and stuff like that. Do you have besides the Vanguardian costume that we talked about, that is going to be available it's not going to be available in. I was just going to make that clear for good people that it's not going to be available for in-game, but it's going to be available through modding and stuff like that. And I also do have modding videos on my channel, so if you want to go check those out, you can check them out. And you can also find Sky's all her mods through the same system, but. Do you have anything else on the horizon besides the Vanguardian costume?
I have a lot of different ideas, and it's not like a normal idea that you would hear from a lot of modders. I'm actually going to try to see if I can make like a new model. Like I want to see if I can make an elephant for a mount. I want to see if I can make a giant bird instead of the dragon, except for that is not the dragon rig, because you see the phoenix mounts. They're using a dragon rig, so I mean that does make sense, but I want to use something different.
Oh, so the Phoenix mount that is in, you get the 100 feathers in the Forbidden Spires, all that jazz, is actually based on a dragon.
It's using a dragon's rig.
Okay, so you can kind of
call it... That's why a lot of people assume that it's like a dragon and spits fire, but it's not a dragon, it's rigged to a dragon model. Yeah. It's not a dragon.
So basically the skeleton is a dragon, and then it's a bird.
Because I want to actually have the because maybe I could possibly use a butterfly to have it like a flying bird. I don't know. I'm still deciding whether or not to deciding what to do for my future mods. But I do definitely want to see if I can make a custom model for an elephant, because I don't think we have anything like that except for a cookie fant.
Yeah, when you mentioned elephants, I was like, yes, because I really like the cookie elephants. Those are actually still some of my favorite mounts because it's cookies and it's elephants, and elephants are cute, and it's the whole combination of that. But what you're saying about the when you start like making a mod and stuff like that, you basically take another type that's already made, like you said about the dolphins. You took the fox and built around that one. But what you're saying is that you're actually starting from scratch and like building up the model, and so it's gonna of course take like way longer than deciding just taking already in-game model and just remodeling it basically.
Yeah, what I'm doing is I'm going to actually start it from scratch, like you said.
Yeah.
So I would have to figure out like what parts I want to keep. Like if I want to have like if I want to have the shoulders, I'll keep the shoulders. If maybe it won't have shoulders, I will have like different parts for the trunk, maybe the different parts for the ears and the head, like how big I want to make the head and the body and compared to the other mounts. So it's a little complex process to figure out how that works, because I've done this once before with a rooster ally.
Oh.
I mean, that's just something on a small scale.
Yeah.
I want to see if I can work something bigger.
Yeah, also you have to, when you start from scratch and stuff like that, you also have to think about, functionality and also about animation. And it's like, basically you have to coordinate the legs so the legs doesn't get like super high, long or something like that, and it doesn't look like super weird and stuff like that. When you have like a existing model, you can just like build onto that and makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, that is a little bit easier for a lot of people, but I like I said, I want to go all out just to see how far I can go.
It's also is it like a challenge for you? Like it's like you've done all these mods, but now you kind of want to like you did the ally you said, but are you like built like a mount?
Yeah, this is something for me to challenge myself.
Yeah. All right. So I think I think we covered like modding pretty well. I do want to like have us talk a little bit about the Pts server as well, because it was up this week and we had the venue. We were the information was that we had it the weekend, and then they extended it the whole week and put in a lot of changes and stuff like that. So
a lot of changes.
A lot of changes, yes. I think there was
to the new class.
Yeah, I think there was like 2 patch notes like every day around that. I felt like there was at least that.
Yeah, it feels like it was 2 patch notes a day just from fixing many of the bugs that are in there.
So did we cover enough modding, you think? Like we didn't get into like super specific things and stuff like that, but we kind of talked a little bit about how to get started and stuff like that. And do you think we have anything we have to mention so people out there can like start getting their own?
Well, there is a guide in Trove source if anyone wants to look at and search that up and review through there, because Evil did make a pretty good job with that mod.
All right. I'll see if I can find it so you guys can get the like specific link to the guide, or of course there's going to be a link to Trovosaurus, so if you go there, you can probably search for there, or you can probably just type in Google and search. That's the way I'm going to find it. But
well, there isn't any like really good like visual tutorials like videos and such, but there's if you want to read through it, or if you do choose to read, and that is there for anyone to look at.
Yeah. Would that be something for you to do, for example, since like would that a visual aid maybe?
I'm yet to decide whether or not I want to create a video, because I'm not someone who knows how to create and edit videos.
Or maybe there's somebody out there that that has that skill, and they could probably like use that guide probably and create something.
I feel like I do know someone, but I don't know if he's around.
Okay. Well, anyways, I think we covered that. So like Sky said, you can check out the guide and stuff like that in more specific if you want to know more about modding. So we're gonna like change the subject a little bit and like talk about the Vanguardian that was on the Pts server, and we had a lot of changes to it and a lot of buffs to it as well. I felt like also it just got buffed like here and there, and then like just overall damage 20% here, more damage here. And as far as I like have heard people, there was no like issue in the beginning. It was a little on the weak side, but not compared to other things and stuff like that. So I think it just got a massive buff all the time.
Yeah, it feels like they were really going towards like having it on the level of Gunslinger, which is already like the top class that almost everyone is using.
Yeah. And I've just said like multiple times is that I really don't want a class that it's like gonna push out the gunslinger in any way in the Shadow Towers. I just really wanted to see a class that was fun to play. I've recently talked about the Tomb Raiser. I talked that in my new show that it's really boring gameplay for me. Like it's just putting down your allies, trying to make that big one, and then you go to the next one, and then on the meanwhile, while you go there, it's gone, right? And then you have to summon these things again to actually make some damage, and then, yeah.
I believe that the Gunslinger is already going to be taken down as the top class because Dracolite already got a massive buff, and combine that with the Pirate Captain who's already doing a lot of damage. A team of Dracolites and Pirate Captains is just going to probably compete, or better yet, out DPS a team of Gunslingers.
Yeah, but you tried the Vanguardian, right, on the test server?
Yes, I have, up to level 20 though.
Yeah, up to level 20.
So just so I can test the costumes.
And you've also talked to like different people and stuff like that. You talk to in-game players and stuff like that. I do that the same on every stream. There's plenty of streams out there. What is like people's? We were talking about competing, and we're of course talking about speed running and stuff like that. What are like? Have you heard about people? Are the Vanguardian as it is now after all the buffs? Has it a place in the speed running game?
I feel like it does have some place. I can't 100% confirm this because I'm not a speedrunner myself, but hearing from other people who do speedrun, it seems like it might be a good class to use. Although there's like I said, there's Dracolite and Pirate Captain that could possibly do better. But Vanguardian is at a really good spot to be able to participate in Shadow Towers.
Yeah. Definitely as a even though it might not be in speedruns, it's probably going to be a strong class for carrying and as it can be both in melee and ranged, and I think that's a good thing, and definitely. But I hope that it's going to see, because I'm not into speedrunning either, and Killer is actually, that was on the podcast last time, and we're talking about core efficiency stats and stuff, all those things. But it's going to come down to what we're going to see when it goes live, basically. But I would love to see there's more diversity in, like, so we don't just bring like 6-7 gunslingers and then you just bring a tank. Not knowing, again, I don't know exactly what people bring in there, but I would love to see like the diversity that all classes has like a spot in Shadow Towers, or irrelevant at least.
I have heard some of the people who do speedrun are just like, there is no diversity, yes, and some people were suggesting like decreasing the damage for having like 4, 5, 6, 7 classes of the same type, so that it would encourage more people to use different classes to, because right now it's only like you have a bunch of gunslingers with high amounts of damage and a tank.
Yeah.
That's it. No skill there.
No, it's just sorry.
It's just there's just no skill involved to speedrun at this point. It kind of gets really boring for a lot of people.
It's basically coordinating your potions for as difficulty of the difficulty, you can kind of say it like that, and just keep your range, and then tank is gonna do its thing.
I mean, that's not as much skill as you actually thinking about what's a good arrangement of classes that can do a lot of damage without having to duplicate the classes that you have. So maybe like only 2 gunslingers, 2 Dracolites, 2 pirates, maybe 1 candy barb, and a couple of other classes. That I feel is more along the lines of skill, because you got to figure out like different strategies instead of just one strategy.
They have said a little bit about new mechanics to some of the bosses and stuff like that, and I would love to see that. Also more diversity in different abilities that the bosses can have, and so it changes up the gameplay, and also changes the dynamic of the group and stuff like that. I would love to see more. What would you call it, like raids, like you probably people know out there, World of Warcraft and stuff like that. So your role is actually important, that you actually do need a tank, you do need some healers, you do need some, like, I know that Trove is not, it's just your potions, right? But we've talked about this on stream multiple times, that some kind of raid system in that sense, that this makes other classes valuable, or change some of them so they are more valuable, or some more diversity in the in-game gameplay, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So the Vanguardian, we actually went and talked about the Shadow Towers, but they got a lot of buffs, and we're gonna see when it comes to live how it's gonna be, and so on. But we also got introduced a new biome, a sub biome actually. And first glance as me that I saw it, I thought it was awesome, because I thought that it's kind of revitalizing, like a biome that you basically probably don't go a lot in. So I would love to see like more of that, revitalizing of the older biomes and stuff like that. So what were your opinion, or how did you react to the new sub biome?
I personally like it. It's a different take. It's just like how they're adding about the Forbidden Spires and Jurassic Jungle. Those two have sub biomes, and I do prefer those kind of biomes, because they have like a one specific type of biome with two sub biomes. That's actually more. I actually prefer that than just one single biome, because it kind of diversifies the world.
And kind of blows like new life into like an existing biome that's been around for very, very long. I don't know. I don't think it was with the original game, the Neon biome, but I think it didn't came with the Neon Ninja.
I think it came with the Neon Ninja.
Yeah, and that's
way back when.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. So it's kind of revitalizing the Neon biome. So, like I said, I hope that it's going to be that for get some life or new life into some of the some of the older biomes that we still have around, like the medieval highlands and stuff like that.
Like, I would like to see maybe like a balefire biome in the Dragonfire Peaks. That would be something interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just something that they could possibly do.
Yeah. So we now have the Pts server up, and it's down again. Huh?
Well, now it's offline.
Now it's offline. Yeah, as of the developer stream last night, it went offline, and people did all their testing and stuff like that. And do you think they have confirmed that we're going to see the update in March? So when do you think we're going to see the update? My calculations are the 20th of March. But when do you think we're going to see it? Like start March, mid to end?
Yeah, maybe like mid to late March, because you gotta think about that. It takes time for the for them to submit the patch to for consoles. Really, we just have to wait until they get approved for consoles, and then we get the patch.
Yeah, exactly. Just a ton of updates. I'm trying to find. I'm sorry, I cut out a little bit there. I was trying to find the patch notes for the Pts server. See if I can find them. That was like the big post. I don't know if I posted on the Discord, but I know I put it on my YouTube. So I'm gonna use like 2 seconds before. Let's see. because I want to find because there was a lot of things into the patch. Let me see. I think I put it under. There you go. I found it here. There we go. So we talked about, because I also wanted to talk a little bit about this. I just need the thing. Okay, so the Vanguardian, and we talked about. Oh yeah, the thing I wanted to talk about, here it is the daily. When you were on the Pts server, right? You saw the new daily bonus. This.
Yes, the new daily bonuses.
Yeah. So how do you feel about them?
This is a definite step in the right direction, but I feel it's a bit late for that, because we've been asking for this for a while now. Better daily bonuses, because a lot of people don't play on Sunday because that's only PvP. And a lot of people wanted the fishing back because we had that back in the day.
Yeah, there was a day.
Because I think that's a lot of people who played back then got their 15,000 badge because of that. Because you would have the fishing week and then the fishing day, which was on a Wednesday, and that you fished for hours, and you can easily get thousands of fish in a day.
Yeah, and now we see the event for the week like every other month or something like that.
They moved it to Tuesday.
Yeah.
Along with the gardening and the ores.
Yeah, exactly. It's on the gathering day, as they call it. So for people
I'm a bit concerned about Monday, though. They put all the Shadow Tower stuff on Monday.
Yeah,
and servers are probably not gonna do so well on that day.
No, Mondays are probably gonna be
I mean, the server's already bad enough on Mondays because that's the reset day.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be even worse that it's double or triple for patron users the amount of souls that you get. That does not include the divinities.
No, you don't get more fragments for the costumes. Yeah. So for people that doesn't know, that Shadow Tower Monday is now Shadow Tower Day, which means that for non-patrons you get double key fragments, double shadow shards, double Titan souls, and double Lunar souls. If you have though patron, you get triple fragments, triple shards, and triple Titan souls and triple Lunar souls. So how do you feel about people are really still want Lunar souls because they want to reroll gems and whatnot. So how do you feel about kind of that being a pay to win day in that sense, or pay to get more stuff?
I don't really have an opinion on that, but I do feel that patron is definitely going to be something that almost everyone would want to get or prefer to get, since it really improves the gameplay. Because even the other days as well, like more experience, more adventuring, and it's really going to encourage people to get patron, which there's some people who want to stay free to play, but I know there is the option to get it for credits.
Yeah.
With using the credit pouches, but everyone's going to be forced to have that in order to play their game, which might hurt in a way.
Yeah. I kind of bring up Monday and that Shadow Day because of the extra you get with patron. Because let's say Tuesday you get there's a 50% chance of bonus ore, right? And if you have patron, it's 100%. So that's not really something you would probably spend your patron on, unless you have 30-day patron or something like that. Then you of course had it. But if we're talking about 1-day patron passes or something like that, people wouldn't just use 1-day patron passes on one day, like a Tuesday, but they will probably do that on a Monday because you get those triple souls.
It'll be worth more to do it on a Monday.
Yeah, exactly. And I wouldn't say it forces people to do it, but it is very tempting to spend patron on a Monday now, I would say.
I mean, even I already spend some of my credits just to keep my patron.
Yeah. So I think I brought this up because there's also been a lot of discussion, and especially in some of the clubs that I'm part of, I've seen in the chat that people have been talking about it and stuff like that. So I wanted to bring like that on the table and kind of talk about that a little bit. But moving on from Monday, as we said, like Tuesdays are the gathering day now, so you get all sorts of things. I think if I remember, I will also put this in the description if you want to read the exact numbers and stuff like that. Because now the Pts server is down, so you can go check it. But we do have fishing day back, so you get double speed on non-patron and triple speed on patron. Wednesday is now the gym day, as it's always been the gym day.
It's been gym day. It's just slight buff to it.
It's been in the gym. It's now stronger. So those are also the numbers. You can also check those. Now, something that I actually have called out before, which I don't know. I don't think the devs watches my stream or my videos, but I did say that Thursdays are like right now, as they are on the live service right now, is the most boring day. Well, you can argue that Sunday is equal to it, but it's basically right now you just extra adventure boxes, which there's very rarely anything you really want. You just basically just have them clutter your inventory. You just have to open all of them, at least how I do it. But they have changed it now, which I was very happy, and they have now made it to Adventure Day, and that doesn't mean that there's just increasingly like 2,000% now adventure boxes. But they actually, what they did, they still have the adventure boxes in there, but they introduced that now you get 50% more aventurine on Thursdays for non-patron and 100% for patrons. And actually, you actually get, if you have the new potion and you have patron and you have the more adventuring, you actually get 183% more aventurine. Did you know that?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Yeah. That is pretty awesome, I would say. Like it
looks like it will even out to them nerfing the farming, adventuring farms that they have.
It's definitely a step. Now. As you said before, it's definitely a step in the right direction to compensate for the completely overpowered farms that was, you could get decked out, those 220 daily quests you could do, or quests you could do daily, could get maxed out in 2 hours or something like that with the Lord Farm and stuff like that. So absolutely insane.
Yeah, and it's not even that fun, to be honest. All you're doing is just killing the enemies, switching worlds, and getting the quest, go back, do the same thing, rinse and repeat, and it's not that fun. It's really boring.
It's definitely not. I've said this also on stream that it's not something I'm going to stream. Not because that it's like I have some kind of issue with it and something like that, but it's really boring gameplay. All you really see is my loading screen, because that's what takes the longest to go through the loading screen from going from the farm to the club, picking up the quest, going back, completing it, going back. It's like you are at the end of like 5 seconds each time, so it's not great content to put out there. I would definitely say
it's worse than having to farm shadow towers, because you're still going through the loading screen. The loading screens are the ones that take a lot of time out of you.
Yeah, definitely. So Fridays are now dragon days, which means you get double the dragon coins from challenges, well, triple of course on Patreon, double the lesser dragon caches from challenges, and also the double chance of finding dragon fragments. So that's also going to be probably a day where people are going to be out farming dragon fragments if you are not have gotten all of them.
It's the chance for the 5 fragment dragons. It doesn't increase the amount of fragments for the ones that are like for Flackbeard.
Oh.
The Candoria dragon and the deep sea one. It doesn't increase the amount. It's only affecting the percent chance that it drops. Because those 3 that I mentioned, it's already 100%. You can't change that.
Okay. Okay, because that was actually something that I was actually going to ask you if it was, because I thought it was on the
Yeah,
book.
I've already saw a question on that to the devs on the PTS chat. Someone has asked that, and I remember
Oh,
their
okay.
response to that.
Yeah, okay. So all the dragons you find out, like the deep sea one, pirate, chocolate, uh,
It does that day doesn't affect them.
yeah,
It only affects the others.
that's then the Infinium. It's the spider dragon. It's the one from Shadow Towers,
The
from
Dino Dragon
Dino
and
Dragon, yeah,
Ice Dragon and
Ice
Floral
Dragon, yeah, from
Dragon.
the Glacier Shards, yeah, all those. So that's actually pretty awesome because people did did really like talk about how much they saw those numbers being really low, especially for the like Starfire one.
Yeah,
Killer
the
also
Starfire
did.
one's just the most annoying for a lot of people because it doesn't seem to want to drop.
Yeah. To put that in perspective, Killer did a calculation and stuff like that. That's in the other podcast video. But Chronostiller, if anybody is familiar with her, she did all her runs. You do 300 of normal Hydra, 300 of the Dreadnought also. On all three difficulties, and basically she has done all of them. And of course she killed all the small mini bosses that dropped the fragment on the way. And it seems like, and she only got one fragment in 1800 runs basically. So that's kind of put it
That's
in
a lot of
perspective.
enemies killed, and that's a lot of enemies being killed, and not a lot of fragments dropping.
Yeah, you would think in 1800 runs, you would definitely see more than just one fragment. Basically, the calculation was that since he got one fragment, he kind of saved 834 hours of Shadow Towers or something like that. So that's quite insane. So double the chance towards the chance. We're probably going to see it more, but I doubt that it's going to be like dropping from do 100 Shadow Towers and then you're done. I don't think it's going to be like that for sure.
Probably not.
No. Okay, so Saturday is now, of course, still, or it's now, it's still XP day, but there is a little bit more increased. They changed, so you now get your PvP experience in there, and you also now get adventure experience. Oh no, sorry, that's not what I meant. Club experience. So it's 50% for non-patron and 100% for patrons, and of course you still get normal experience as you do right now. So Wednesdays and Saturdays are basically the same thing.
Just slight buffs.
Yeah, slight buffs. Yeah, exactly. Next thing is, and of course, the Sunday we talked about Sunday that it was like nobody really played on it because it was arena or PvP, whatever you're gonna call it. But now they changed it since they put the PvP experience in Saturday. They are now new day for Saturday, which is loot day, which means that for non-patrons you get 100 experience, you get double chance of finding flux artifacts. Those are the crystals, the ones that drop from different dungeons and stuff like that. And of course, there says increased chaos chest drops as well. And for patrons, it's 200 magic find, triple the chance of artifacts, and of course also increased chaos chest drops. So, how do you feel about Sunday, like now, loot day?
At least it's better than what we have now.
That's better, yeah.
But I do feel like there's some people who still won't farm on a Sunday because they probably prefer Wednesday or Monday to.
Yeah, you don't
instead
think
of
it's gonna be
Sunday.
enough to pull people in on Wednesdays, or sorry, Sundays.
It's good if you want to like farm for the farm for some more flux, but even then, it's not the most efficient way to make flux for some people.
No, I don't think it's gonna be enough. I think it's depending on what you want. I still feel like this is one of the slowest days still. Especially when if you're an in-game player, I would say definitely.
Well, I'll still farm on Sundays, but it's not something that I would probably say maybe change it to something different. But I can't really think about what they would change it to because there's already everything is on the other days.
I think the problem really with that loot day is that it is either going to be like underwhelming or too much. If you increase like the magic find to be like 200 for non-patron and 400 for patron, it might be like too overpowered, right? And it's kind of hard to find that middle ground, I think, with a thing like that.
I mean, there's already people like complaining that there's too much magic find already.
Yeah.
Or it
Exactly.
needs nerf or a cap.
Yeah. But they said that it's not going to be a cap on it. But I don't know. I can't remember what they said more than that. But I just remember them saying there was not going to be a cap on the magic find at the moment, at least, and they're looking into magic find. So right now it's just more. So I think that kind of concludes like the podcast. I think like we discussed like mostly modding, and then we talked.
You didn't ask me like any questions about how I play the game.
Oh, yeah, of course. I could do that, of course. I think so. How do you play the game? Since that's.
Well, you can say that I am someone who does put money into the game, but most of my credits are come from modding.
Yeah.
I'm more of like a casual player. I usually farm whenever I feel like it, because most of the time I'll do modding. But when I do farm, I will continuously farm for a specific objective. Like if I want to do at least 10 runs for a badge, which is what I've been doing now. But as someone who is very high rank in mastery, it does get very boring because there's barely anything else you can do.
Yeah, they're definitely. I'm also myself running out of like things to do in Trove, and as you say, that becomes a little bit boring. And we all play like the game differently, and yeah.
Like I'm at a certain point where the only things I'm missing are the Shadow Tower badges and one ally, which is like extremely RNG. It's one of those chaos mimics from the chaos chest.
Oh yeah.
But having only those left, like to achieve like the maximum mastery, it's not a lot of things that I can do really.
Yeah.
I mean, I can farm for gems to get better, but I'm trying to save up my flux for like when they nerf the craftings for the augments, so I can max out my revenant, which is what I'm trying to go for.
So as you said yourself, being top mastery, for example, like you've definitely been top 10. So like
For
what are you?
Plenty of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So how do you feel about the reward now for like before you had all sorts of things you got for like being top 10 and there was a lot of competition in like being that number one. How is it now that the only reward you get for mastery on the leaderboard is that the top 2000 get a golden name?
At least it's not promoting like the rich get richer sort of situation. Because when they were doing those rewards, I was getting more and more flux every single week because 300 pinatas. That's an easy chance to just get those dormant pinata dragon eggs or 100,000 shapestone to sell. I'm sitting here with like 300,000 shapestone and formicite, and it just makes things a little bit easier for us to stay on top.
Yeah, the people that are on top are always going to be on top because you're still going to get things to stay on top.
But now that it's only just a cosmetic for the chat box, it at least makes us actually work for our top, well, our status really, just whatever you like to call it.
I would think there was not like there's not a much of an incentive to try to be number one as there was, before. As long as you're in like 2000, you're fine, right? So, or is there still that competition?
There is in a way, because mastery does coincide with power rank, because every mastery level you get, it's to power rank. And trying to get the most mastery will equal to the most power rank you can get possible. So you see people with the most high, like really high power rank, are either people who have high mastery or those few people who are at the top 10 spot.
So are you sad that they removed the rewards, or are you kind of like, oh, that's okay? Like,
I'm fine with it, and I liked my piñatas though.
Yeah, of course. So I've never been in anywhere near top mastery. I am 2000 in the top 2000, getting the golden name and stuff like that now. But personally, before I wasn't in anywhere near those top 10 and stuff like that. So we've been talking on stream and like, because I feel like there should still be rewards for people that are like the top people and stuff like that. Because you have spent a lot of time in the game, maybe a lot of money and stuff like that. So now you're just like, have a golden name, and there's like 2,000 other people that has it, and it's like you want to feel a little bit more rewarded for spending this much time on the game, and of course also this kind of money. Do you think there should be any kind of reward system that is not beneficial exactly to you, but to somebody else? Like we're talking about like things piñatas that you throw down that you don't yourself get rewarded for, but you reward other people for it, or that you can or you get something out of it that's special or something like that.
That would be really hard to try to find out what to do, because even if, like, for example, like the example you said, like a piñata that you don't get yourself, like the rewards, but some people may abuse that, take their alt accounts and take the rewards from them.
Oh yeah, like that. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, and then just create eight other accounts and just have them throw them down.
Because that is an issue. That is an issue for PC mostly. I haven't heard anything like that on consoles. They usually have to keep in mind, especially for PC. I know consoles are a little more strict.
Somebody in chat is saying like a rainbow name. I think that's gonna be hard to make look good in game, but could definitely be something like different, colors of names and stuff to show off, But people do know. You can check the list, and they do know like who's like number one and stuff like that. But I think it's hard to. I'm not a developer, so I don't know what it's going to like. What there will be some incentive to be like that, but I would love to see something that is for the like big players, or what even like the top mastery players, that helps out the community in any way. I don't know how you're going to balance that, but I would love to see that. So like the big players help the small players, by being like, even though they're high, and then can like, I don't know. I just would love to see that. I think it's a little bit too underwhelming to be just getting a golden name, and I'm not even there, so I'm kind of making the case for somebody else that I'm not anywhere near close to. So, all right. Is there anything else that you feel like we should talk about?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, I'm sorry that I didn't ask into your how you play the game and stuff like that. I could just see the time is we're been talking for a good amount of time. It's been absolutely a pleasure, Sky, to talk to you.
Likewise.
We covered a lot of stuff, and I think we did really well. So I'm gonna close it. I think I'm gonna close out. We're gonna close out the podcast now. So I'm gonna like. Do all the plugs. If you have any plugs, you can have a few if you want.
Plugs?
Yeah, plugs. No, you don't want to plug anything? You want to? No. Okay.
Well,
I'm gonna plug for you then. As you can see on the screen, you can see there is Sky's Twitch. I'm also going to link that in the description, so go check that out. Like I said, she does, or like we discussed a lot, is that we talked a lot about modding and stuff. She does a lot, and she has like all the knowledge in the world. So if you have like any questions and stuff like that, you definitely join the stream and like ask all those questions if you got any. I also linked to Trovosaurus. That's like Sky's, both the Sky Sisters site. It's very informative. There's a lot of stuff on there. Also the guide to more modding and stuff like that. So before you guys leave, I do have 10 Streamer Dreamer codes that I want to give away on live stream here. So if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm sorry, but you can always join live. We do these once in a while, and you can check those out. And also I have 2 codes for the now I'm gonna make sure I say this name, bubbling biofield. Did I say that right?
Yes.
All right. The bubbling biofield made by Sky, and those are also gonna go out to you guys. So we're gonna say thank you so much, Sky, for joining the podcast. It was a pleasure, and thank you for the codes for the people. I'm gonna say thanks for them.
It's a pleasure being here as well.
Yeah. So thank you so much, and I'll see you, Sky.
All right. See ya.
See ya.